Good morning, soul rebels. Let's just close our eyes and look up to the point between the eyebrows. Relax the body. Relax your life. Relax what's on your plate. Relax how the body feels, what the mind is saying, and on and on and on and on. Relax it all. Because we want to invite God to give us a blessing today, right now, and always. And we might find it just so enjoyable because of his grace and and his constant help, and quite frankly his doership of everything. We can do nothing of our own, that we actually can draw on this loving presence that's deep within our core. Our true center is in God, and God is sending an invitation right now, right straight into your whole being, and saying, I am here, I am here, come and join me in your deepest core. I will help you. I'm always helping you. Please allow me to help you even more, because this is the place of peace. This is the land beyond your dreams. This is the joy that surpasseth all understanding. This is your shelter. This is your heaven. This is what you've been looking for, well, 8 million lives, from rock, plants, animals. 8 million then get into a human body. It's just about 8 million of those. And then who knows how many lifetimes we've been in them, going around and around this merry-go-round of human reincarnations. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because if you are on this stream now, if you listen to the stream later, you are so blessed. Because what is it that got you here? My dears, what is it? What brought you to wanting to come to this Gita stream? Because whatever that is a desire to keep burning, to keep inflaming with more desire for this same contact with truth, contact with wisdom, contact with your tribe. Souls on fire for complete liberation. That's why I said good morning, soul rebels, because that's who you and I are. There's a place I go, not of this world, where nothing gets to me. There's a place I go, not of this world, where nothing gets to me. It's a place of dreams, where love never goes away. It's a place of dreams, where love is always here to stay. Let's all go to that place now, okay? Right inside the deepest part of you, right inside to your core, right inside to your soul. And I'll sing this once more. There's a place we go, not of this world, where nothing gets to us. There's a place we go, not of this world, where nothing gets to us. It's a place of dreams, where love never goes away. It's a place of dreams, where love is always here to stay. Always here to stay. Always never goes away. always here to stay. Always, never goes away. It's a place of dreams. Oh, dream to God, dream right now. Children of the light, dream a happy dream right now. No matter how you feel in this physical body and how you feel in this environment called planet Earth, no matter how you feel, what your circumstances are, what the karma is, and on, it doesn't matter as long as you know there is such a place. So please dream big. Please dream God. Please dream joy. Please breathe happiness. And please breathe freedom, liberation. Because we are in one heck of predicament here. And so it is. Amen. Oh, good morning, dear Brooke. I'm so glad that your soul is leading you on higher and higher. Yeah, we stumble, don't we? Yeah, we forget, don't we? We still have so many bumps in the road, so many dark moments, so many old things trying to earth up our little bit of joy, this little bit of ascension, this little bit of higher consciousness, and come and rob us of that treasure, of that endowment, of that greatest gift that God has given us inside of these mortal frames and in this delusive world. Thank God for God. Thank God for God. But I do want to start with this quote from Jesus Calling of just the other day, actually, maybe a couple days ago. And it just says it as it usually does, if not all the time. It says it so perfectly. At least it speaks to me that way. And this is what Jesus, this is what God, this is what Divine Mother, and this is what the soul, this is what the Master is telling us over and over again. Learn to live from your true center in me. Learn to live from your true center in me. Forget about how is it such a struggle to live in this outer world is, right? And all the distractions and on and on. I keep saying that and on and on. But the true center that's so deep in you, there's that storms of delusion, storms of deceit, storms of revenge, storms of lesser desires and sense appetites can't touch you. It's a storm shelter deep inside you. Learn to live in that true center within you. I reside. This line just gave me the lift up that I needed yesterday. Still with me today. I reside in the deepest depths of your being, in eternal union with your spirit. So right now, in the deepest depths of our being, the eternal, the one beloved, the transcendental absolute, the bliss personified, right? Beyond everything, beyond vibration, beyond creation. That is it, having eternal union with your soul right now. Right now. It is at this deep level that my peace reigns continually. You will not find lasting peace in the world around you, in circumstances, or in human relationships. We're going to try to look at how just a thought just left reflected upon. You know, how easy it is to have a thought, even of our loved ones, even mostly of ourselves, and then and the people around us. And that this is because we get a human little hurt, you know, we get a little bit of like, why is she saying that or he's saying that, and blah, blah, blah. And it kind of It can take us out from our true center, way out there. And then we're in the land of delusive dreams rather than the beautiful God dreams and soul dreams. But don't expect lasting peace in the world around you, in circumstances, or in human relationships. The external world is always in flux under the curse of death and decay. Kids, we got to duck and cover. Spiritual life is a duck and cover. It really is. From the bombardment of where we find ourselves right now, after incarnation, after incarnation, after 8 million, just getting to be in a human form that has the possibility of understanding anything that is of real value to help us out and make us feel better and make us feel closer to God, right? And that we're not these, despicable me's. We're not this person that just, oh, it's there he goes again, there she goes again. And that may be your mind talking to you. So the external world is under the curse of death and decay, but there's a gold mine of peace deep within you, waiting to be tapped. Take time to delve into the riches of my residing presence. Duck and cover and find me there. I want you to live increasingly from your real center. I want you to live increasingly from your real center, where my love is here to stay, never goes away. What it says here, where my love has an eternal grip on you. Man, I'm Christ in you, the hope of glory. Good start. Good start, my dears. I still, I am so proud of you being able to rejoice. Well, maybe I need to read you this, okay? This is from Jesus Calling, as a quote from, wow, someplace in the Old Testament. I can't even pronounce it. Habakkuk. I don't know that. I completely messed up that pronunciation, I'm sure. But listen to this. Though the fig tree does not bud, and there are no grapes on the vines, though the olive crop fails, and the fields produce no food, though there are no sheep in the pen and no cattle in the stalls. Now that's a gloomy can be a gloomy outlook, right? But not for a soul like yours, my dears, and mine. Yet, when nothing seems to be going right, when everything seems to be fallen to pieces, yet I will rejoice in the Lord. I will be joyful in God, my Savior. The sovereign Lord is my strength. He makes my feet like the feet of a deer. He enables me to go into the heights. So I take my hat off and rejoice that you got yourself here today. I hope you rejoice to all those things that, well, it might bring you a little joy, but it doesn't have to. Especially those times when you get nothing from it, when you're still burning up the karma. See, we have this big old huge bit of debt to pay here still. And it can be that you're feeling so gloomy. You feel like you're so stuck. You feel like that it's just almost painful to try to be still, because there's so much disquietude in here rather than what that perfect peace, untapped peace, infinite love, where there's union going on with the transcendental absolute in your soul right now. There's union with Christ in your soul right now, with the Masters, Divine Mother, friend, beloved God, right now in your soul, that we can rejoice, whether we feel it, whether it's a worst day ever for us, whether it's a happy day for us, whatever, that we still rejoice, that we somehow have the gift and are acknowledging the gift that God's grace is helping us out here moment by moment, day by day, breath by breath. That's it. That's it. Okay, so I know last week I was saying the word convoluted a lot. And I want to wrap up that little section. I sent you a little note that has this quote in it, because this was a lesson number 78 in Yogananda's New Lessons. And there's a reason why I was using that word convolute for the cerebral vortex or cortex, right? Your prefrontal lobes. The more convoluted the surface of the brain is, the greater the surface area of the cortex, which allows for an expansion of cortex. It is the most evolutionary advanced part of the brain. Greater surface area of the brain is linked to higher intelligence. So how do we get the brain? So I'm just gonna pull back a little bit. Einstein's brain had a big surface to it because they quote that. So this was some science magazine back in the day. I think it was June 15th, actually, 2015, actually, in June. So, but I just want to come back here to this page before that, where that little footnote that I just read you is, and start reading what Yogananda says. He says a vast number of patterns of activities and memories and thought processes can be lodged in the cerebrum of man and woman. God, who knows what kinds of stuff is in here, right? And the more the convolutions of the cerebrum, the greater is the capacity for intelligent thought. The greater the capacity for intelligent thought. So the more convolutions of the cerebrum, the greater is the capacity for intelligent thought. So you can think like, okay, the word convoluted, it just like makes everything complex and everything. Well, it can work here in this sense that what is the hardest thing to do? Turn within. So we have to kind of create a whole new, groove in our brain from one which is completely disconnected from any kind of going within for our next step, or for guidance, or for some help, or for some refuge to duck and cover with the divine and get away from the blast of the storm and the sense storms and the world going crazy and all that, right? We want to go the other way. We want to go up. We want to dive into this deepest core of us and focus at the spiritual eye and have the most powerful, positive moment, even if we're not feeling positive, even if it's painful to do that, right? But that's a huge convolution for the cerebrum here. That's going to create space up there. It's the most evolutionary advanced part of the brain, but it's going to need you now, my dears, as a soul hero and a soul heroine to just go against the grain of your karma, go against the grain of your humanness and the grain of this world, and decide that you're going to put your attention up here at the point between the eyebrows. You're going to lift your eyes up and in, and you're going to dive in and penetrate that spiritual eye and feel the light, even if you're in complete darkness, okay? That's a great convolution. So does that make a little more sense? So Yogananda says, the more convolutions, the more we turn within to our core, to be in that union that's going on right now in our core with the highest of the high and our soul. Isn't that a great thought? That right here, I mean, come on. We can at least smile a little bit about that. We can feel a little joy. We can say some thank yous for sure. And I trust yous for sure around that. But the more the convolutions of the cerebrum, the more we turn in and up, the greater capacity of intelligent thought. In early stages of developing fetus, the brain is more like a marble dome. Remember, I was talking about dome heads last week, but I didn't give you any context. So you're going, what is he saying? Probably. In early stages of developing fetus, the brain is more like a marble dome. The awareness and responses of the fetus increase with the developing complexity of the convolutions as that little fetus grows into a baby and, goes through growing up, waking up, but maybe still dead asleep if we're not careful, right? Too often, however, Here's the dead asleep. Even adults behave like their brain is a bare dome head. When water falls on a dome, the water slides right off. When the truth comes in, it slides right off. When the conscious whispers something that is really, really, really valuable for you to hear and to follow up on, it slides right off, right? Marble heads, marble dome heads. The water slide. Similarly, in a person who does not develop the brain's capacity for discrimination, what? Discerning. What is true? What is not true? Discerning what is good for me, really good for me, and what isn't. What is true and what isn't, right? If there's it's certain similarly in a person who does not develop the brain's capacity for that, even that, it's just let the ego have its way, let your instincts, let your habits, let your addictions, let your sense proclivities have their own way. But here's what happens too if we're just not creating convolutions in the highest part of the brain to have a chance at being in our true center and living life from our true center, right? The lessons that life's experiences are meant to teach slip unconsciously away. The lessons. Remember, last week we talked about the law of recurrences. We're going to be diving into the cycles of cosmic creation, which is endless, cosmic, round the horn, round the merry-go-round, recurrences of the same old. Even if you're in a high state of consciousness, you still haven't achieved the purpose of life, right? So we don't want to have our learnings and development of this cortex to be halted for any reason at all, right? Because we need to learn those lessons. We can't afford to have them not be absorbed into the intelligence and the prefrontal lobes to guide and stimulate further progress. Then Yogananda goes on to say, we must not waste our time, but live every minute grandly and beautifully in a spiritual way. Imagine that you lived inside this core. Imagine that in this core, all the divine qualities of your soul were just a beautiful blossoming garden of there's happiness, there's peace, and you're in this place and you realize that's who I am, and this is who everyone really is, and this is how the delusive outer creation really is. But it's got to be perceived here first in our core center, in this eternal union of the infinite spirit with our spirit or our soul, right? It's going on where the peace is on tap, the light is just waiting for us to just blast the joy. Oh my God, the joy, just everything is there. Imagine looking now at life, living life from that perspective and looking out at all this other stuff like it's a movie, and you're totally know it's a movie, and you're totally untouched by whatever is happening because you wouldn't leave this place. There's a place I go, not of this world, where nothing gets to me. It's a place of God dreams, where love never goes away. You won't ever want to leave here. Now you can witness life. You can be unfazed by your mind stuff and by your karma stuff and by whatever happens today. And you'd be able to let go like that of any expectations you still have on others, especially if you live in close quarters, so spouses, siblings, whoever, children, that you let them be. Let them be, because if you get all hot and bothered by someone who hasn't changed the way that you wanted them to change, wasn't in your program of what this person's going to be like in a relationship with you and all that, that doesn't belong in this place. That doesn't belong in this place, okay? So I want to give you another quote from Yogananda because it ties into this. I mean, everything ties into everything, right? So he says, and this is lesson 18. I know some of you got your lessons now. So I was quoting just from the dome head thing from lesson 78, and this is lesson 18. He says, detach yourself from the character flaws and habits grafted onto your soul through the influence of your environment and ungoverned subconscious mind. Detach yourself from the character flaws and habits grafted in onto your soul through the influence of your environment and ungoverned subconscious mind. Introspect daily. Sit down and analyze yourself deeply. Criticize and reform yourself. That is where your greatest problem lies. You should analyze every thought that you have, view its positive and negative sides, and determine its relative value. Every thought, I'm telling you, all these little sneaker thoughts that are just like they come in and we've given into them. They just are part of the automatic, mindset that we have. Limited human mind thinking mindset. But now we have to realize how devastating each one of those negative thoughts are. Each one of those thoughts that doesn't come from this core union realization, even if you're not feeling those soul qualities, but from a place of trust and faith in those soul qualities. All right. And every time you do, hey, listen, real quick. I've been going back listening to those streams in chapter 2 when we were talking about the righteous battle. Oh, contact me if you ever want to just, maybe you can receive those more now. I think if you can come to this every week, but that is unequivocally the most powerful Yogananda, unequivocal, unabashed, non-negotiable important things to remember, that we have a righteous duty here to fight to the end, man, to never give up and shrink and give in to our weaknesses and just give up, but to fight to the end, to bring out our soul qualities, to bring out our soul power, to bring out our total attunement with God's help with all of that. All right. So we want to detach ourselves from the character flaws and habit graftings into your soul. So to go back to that, let me know. I might gather those. There's maybe 5 or 6 or 7 of a battle of life that it's maybe easy to forget that because we're still dreaming, that we're going to find some satisfaction. And even being unsatisfied, even being full of disquietude, even being, feeling frumpy day after day and not really accelerating. Punch it, Chewy. Punch it into the light. Go to that prefrontal cortex of yours and dive within, duck and cover, and go straight into the core where that divine beloved is already in union, in bliss union with you. Oh boy, just go there. Deal with your pain. Deal with your suffering there, curled up with the beloved or divine mother in her womb. It's the same thing, right? But this is another affirmation of what I'm saying. So he says, detach yourself from the character flaws and habit grafted onto your soul through the influence of your environment and ungoverned subconscious mind. Introspect daily. Sit down and analyze yourself deeply. Criticize and reform yourself. That is where your greatest problem lies. You should analyze every thought that you have, view its positive and negative sides, and determine its relative value. He goes on to say, thoughts are like words and that they send out vibrations, both good and bad, according to the caliber. I don't know guns, but I'm certain different calibers, right? Of the thought. So there's some words that don't have a big, won't kill you because they're so devastatingly negative, but they still have an impact, even if it's a rubber dart, a rubber bullet, right? Oh, right? Both good and bad according to the caliber of the thought. Affirm, here's what we do in our true center. Affirm divine calmness and peace, and send out only thoughts of love and goodwill if you want to live in peace and harmony. So it's in here now we learn to live, in our core, in our soul qualities that are blossoming. with all the help from the whole universe, man. The whole universe is God, right? He created the dark side. So turn to him no matter what, no matter how dark it is. That burns up a bunch of karma when we do that. Live a godly life yourself. And everyone who crossed your path will be helped just by being with you. This is a beautiful quote. Be in your happy place now. Be in your place of God dreams right now. Be in your true center with God right now, with your soul and God in union right now. When you can dismiss unwanted thoughts as long as you wish, when your mind is always undisturbed, when you can remain without breath and be calm as long as you wish, and when you are happy in the consciousness of God, then you will have perfect self-control. But here's the quote. But that's a good quote too, right? Nothing can get our goat again. Nothing is allowed to take away your peace right now, even if it's just the trust and faith in that peace. Why would we give in to those things that are still robbing us of our true nature? To be controlled by moods is a part of matter. And matter makes you feel like you don't matter. And it will get you madder if we buy into it, if we give into it. But we can never do that again. Wait, if I send you some of those battle quotes, man. It was easy to remember. Or I can give you the link to where all our Gita streams are. We're on 3 something now, almost 320. Talk about a library to help you really maintain, sustain, and spiritually accelerate to get you out of the pain, right? We have a gold mine, dears, a gold mine. To be controlled by moods is part of matter. If you keep your mind, this is the quote, if you keep your mind is for the divine, nothing else. Your mind is for the divine in the true center in you. All right? The mind is cloistered in your heart, which also can be said is the true center of you. If you keep your mind on the resolve never to lose your peace, you attain godliness. Keep a secret chamber of silence within yourself. Keep a secret chamber of silence within yourself, where you will not let moods, trials, battles, or inharmony enter. Keep out all hatred, revengefulness, and desires. In this chamber of peace, God will visit you. See, a thought can be a little bit of a little tinge of revengefulness. It can even be a little bit of hatred that comes from the dark side. To add, maybe you didn't have that depth of thinking of hating something, but the dark side is going to try to use that opening to get in there and to kind of magnify that negative thought into the real vibration of hatred and revenge and desires for this and that, right? When we want to only send out thoughts of love and goodwill and affirm divine calmness and peace. Affirm divine calmness and peace and send out only thoughts of love and goodwill if you want to live in peace and harmony. Done. We're the ones, we're the king and queen souls, my dears. We are. So in this chamber of peace, God will visit you. So back to this and we'll end up with, talking about the dome head and all that, and the cerebrum in this lesson 78 with just a few little more thoughts from Yogananda, and then we'll go to what our title is for today, the cycles of cosmic creation, right? Which I may just change the title to Your True Center in God. And why I really want to emphasize that is because, listen, all of this is in the realm of creation. It's the realm of Maya. It's the realm of trickery. It's the realm of delusive. It's pain and suffering and death and decay and all that, right? So we can learn about them, but more importantly, we need to learn to live in our true center in God, right? Yeah. So you must not waste your time, but live every minute grandly and beautifully in a spiritual way. Learn to introspect and keep a mental diary of what you have done. We just talked about that. You will be surprised at the amount of time wasted in doing nothing. You can so easily kill time. A whole life can be wasted. You are the master of the moments of your life. You, the master soul. Use them wisely so that they will give you salvation. You can quicken your evolution by increasing the power of concentration. You will highly develop, that develops some convolutions, I'll tell you. Concentrate on the truth, concentrate on what is good, concentrate on the beautiful, concentrate on the beloved, concentrate on all your chakras and each of the deities that are in there and the practices that we have there. Concentrate. By increasing concentration, you will highly develop your receptivity to wisdom. When you increase your capacity to grasp quickly the meaning and purpose of the problems of life, that means you have lots of grooves in your prefrontal lobes. It's not, just dripping right off like a dome, sliding right off all of the wisdom that you hear or the learnings of what you just said to someone, and you didn't really go deep enough to realize, man, that's a hurtful thought for me and them, right? We got to get to dissect what's hurting me and how I'm creating it, because I am the master of the moments of my life. When you increase your capacity to grasp quickly the meaning and purpose of problems of life and to find their solution, then your liberation will be hastened. And if we're going to talk about the cycles of life, and then, the yuga is coming up, and the nights of Brahma and the days of Brahma, which is just, thousands and millions of years. There's a quote from Carl Sagan coming up that he just says, yeah, it's billions. And the Indians are the ones that really say it's billions and billions of cycles that continue and reoccur over and over again. We're still stuck in the merry-go-round. Nevertheless, adult automatons and children are sleeping immortals. They should be taught to quicken their evolution. Otherwise, they remain helpless, bound to the limitations of delusion, only a little better than animals, unable to find a way out of their sorrows or to give utterance to their soul's true desires. So he talks about intuition, but here's the beautiful prayer, or just thoughts to remember about this. All knowledge comes without limitation from the inner source, from the soul, from your true center, in union with the spirit. In one short span of human life, how else are you going to find out answers to all the mysteries of the body and the mysteries of the infinitude of divine wisdom if you do not tap your inner source, which is omniscient, my true center, my true center? Before we start talking about all this other stuff, it's, oh Lord, I just can't wait to see you. I keep stumbling around down here. Oh Lord, I just can't wait to see you. I keep stumbling around down here. Lift me up. Can you bring me back home today? Inside, true center. Oh, lift me up. Can you bring me back home today? 'Cause I just can't wait to see ya. I just want to be with you. I know you're throwing a party, and I just want to party with you. And that's a party where you're not going to be hungover after whatever you thought or whatever you did. It's a party that is your true, joyous, forever nature, right? So the world starts with books and outside methods, but you should start by increasing the receptivity of your intuition. In you lies the infinite seed of all knowledge. calmness, concentration, and condensation of experiences by intuitional perception will make you master of all knowledge. Do everything with full attention. Oh, talk about a convoluted practice. Do everything with full attention, meaning that it's going to really, really create some grooves in your cortex here, and it's going to create more surface space, going to create a higher intelligence, going to make it much easier for you to not just be in a dark place, but trying to still have trust and faith and joy and be joyous about being in a tough place, but you're going to be joyous in being in a joyous state of mind, right? You would have cleared, you would have learned the lessons from that hurdle, and you would have jumped over into freedom. Oh my God. Oh my God. So do everything with full attention, never in a haphazard way. Don't you love the little things that you do? And if you can stop and say, this is the most sacred moment of my whole existence, Lord, because we are in union right now, and it is you doing everything through me, and all I got to do is be with you. I know you're throwing a party. I just want to party with you. I just want to be really happy in this moment, in this sacred moment. But until then, we're going to still put all of our attention with love, do the little things with great love, and go for it and leave the results in God's hands. Do not try to do too many things at a time. Perform the most important duties of life first with heartfelt enthusiasm and closest attention. So how can you increase your receptivity and thus quicken your evolution? This is all about not quicken loans, but quicken evolution. And ask your soul for a loan of some joy and happiness when you need it. No, ask your soul over and over. I need I help right now. To ask Divine Mother, I need to cocoon in your womb right now, Divine Mother. It's overwhelmed. It's way too much. Help me. Right? We need to go there and go there and go there. By consciously condensing all our experiences through the power of concentration, it means to gather in your attention, focus it to one point. Condensation means to use that concentrated attention to do something quickly that ordinarily would take a long time. By concentration, you can condense each experience and garner whatever wisdom is to be learned from it. By condensation of individual experiences, find out what's still hurting you, baby. Because if it ain't gone away by now, you're still hurting yourself. I'm just talking from just this little place that I'm in, man, right? But I do believe we're all in similar boat, on the same boat. By condensation of individual experience, you can compress all your experiences and the wisdom they contain into a shorter length of time, and thus gain much more than if you go through life inattentively and haphazardly. Okay, one more from Yogananda's lesson, then we're going to go into the cycles, okay? Yeah, Narayan, you got the right idea, man. I know. When I hear myself in those that it's around lesson 113, maybe 110 to who knows 118 or something, and I know it's Yogananda on fire. And so whether I could look at that and go, oh, dude, what are you talking about? You're not realized. You don't have that. But when I say to myself, oh, Yogananda, do it. Do your thing through me. Go ahead. It has to be said. And I am the first one that needs to listen and listen and listen and listen and listen over and over again to the wisdom that pours through you. Because we're in a pickle. And I just want to ride on my motorcycle. Okay, beautiful. Thoughts to live by. God resides in a higher realm than we do, not because he wants to keep away from us. So why is it so hard? Why is this so hard? But so that we may stimulate the desire to lift our consciousness to where he is. Now the animals can't do that. Well, we were endowed with all the power, everything we need to lift ourselves to free ourselves, to liberate ourselves, and to redeem ourselves. My dear, this is the soul, God in you, Emmanuel, God with us, right there. Ask over and over again when you go through your chakras. Ask Divine Mother. I just need to feel your arms around me right now, Divine. Ask her, and do it over and over again. Ask the friend for love. Ask the friend for love, Papi says. Ask the friend for love and ask him again and again. Just ask her again and again. For I have learned that every heart gets what she prays for most. For I have learned that every heart we get what we pray for most. Oh, we get what we pray for most. So ask the friend for peace. Ask the friend for peace. Ask the friend for peace and ask him again and again. Just ask her again and again. Right? You've got all these untapped reservoirs of divinity within you. And from this core place now that you're going to be centered in with God, right? I want you to feel like, okay, all right, it's time to start asking, and it's start time to really listening and really receiving and to experience that joy, which is my by divine inheritance. Anyway, if you give up that desire to lift your consciousness to be where God is, if you give up that desire, you can never find him. You must make him more important than everything else. This turning within, creating convolutions in your brain. And when you try unceasingly to find him, you will find him. Look for his hidden spirit, even in this physical world. Whenever you feel the leaves moving and swaying, feel the gentle whisper of God. It is God's breath that has touched the leaves, which whisper to us of the gentleness of his presence. It is God's breath that is touching those leaves that are moving and swaying, to whisper to us of the gentleness of his presence. Come on. After I sought for years, one whom I looked for through the mist of tears, the one I sought in the vacant sky, the unanswering stars in the boisterous blue brine. That mighty one suddenly talked to me. Nature is very beautiful, but still, in one sense, it is very silent. It tells us of the beauty of everything without revealing that beauty that is behind everything. But when we find God within, his presence becomes so evident without. When in deep meditation, I felt his presence no longer was God hiding from me. All of nature's veils were lifted, and I was face to face with the deity. That is what you can realize also, provided you overcome the test of earthly existence. You must realize that greater than everything else in life is the pursuit of God. Greater than all desires is the desire for God. Greater than all other ambitions is the ambition to know that eternal power. Unequivocal, this Yogananda is, but my soul needs that. And I do believe that we all, humanity, needs that. God seems remote when you spend so much time on lesser things. So remote, right? So far away. You let your mind go so far away. And it's not the big things, it's the little things. But it can make it really far away. And you come back to sit down, nothing's there anymore. That hard-earned little lift of consciousness is not there anymore. But when you continuously cultivate that greatest desire, nothing can prevent you from having a living personal relationship with God. And I love this quote from Yogananda too. There is something greater than mastery over the whole science of yoga. There is a personal element greater than mastery over the whole science of yoga. Your personal relationship with God. Forget everything else. It's all about heart. It's all about surrender. It's all about, hey, you have no place. The storm is on. The battle is raging, and we are to step up as soul heroines with vigilant willingness and fight the war, man, with everything we got, no matter what, because that is what is endowed in us. That is why God is away from us, because we have to develop, we have to let him know that we want him more than anything else. We have to let him know that we are in this not for just a little fling, that we have other things in mind, right? Or that we're doing this a little while and then we're going to backslide. Oh my God. We did a whole stream on what happens when we backslide in those ones on the righteous war. Okay. All right. I think that we covered some good stuff, didn't we, there in this little section? I think so. I think so. I mean, there's so many gems here that we could spend our whole morning. If not, we've probably already did that, didn't we? But yeah. I got another gem of a quote though from him. I want to be able to find it before we march on, dears, and start the yeah. Oh, you know what? Okay. Just this now, I promise. Well, what are we in a rush for? I really think that we might even kind of skip over some of the stuff on the cosmic cycles. Just hit the key points, right? Because again, I'd rather focus on the urgency of today, the urgency of now, you know? And there's good stuff that's coming up, but I just want to make sure that we're really urgent, that we're really on the game right now. That right now there's nothing more important than to feel that there's eternal union of the most beautiful with our most beautiful self, right? And that you have every reason to just bow to this self divine that you are, to honor and to respect it so that we can respect everyone else, whoever they may be, whatever they're doing, and just leave it alone, because we're not here to judge what's happening on the outside. We are here to reflect deeply on on what's going on the inside, get rid of all the trash, and also celebrate, and be in that party with the divine beloved and be joyous because we've just experienced some joy. Okay, instead of looking for God in starry chambers of mystery, says Yogananda, lesson number 18, or in the beauty of the earth, instead of keeping him apart by thinking of him as being in a certain distant spot, through Master's direction, I silently cried continuously within myself. So through Sri Yukteswar's guidance, I continuously cried. Can you imagine seeing that moment? You can intuit it now, where Sri Yukteswar told Yogananda, here's what you got to do, my boy. Through Master's direction, that I silently cry continuously within myself. Silently cry continuously within myself. Cry to get in here, and cry when you're here, and cry when you're not there, right? Cry, baby, cry. And say, come, come. And in the temple of joy, if you pray from that place of deepest urgency, come, come. In the temple of joy, I always heard him reply in the echo of my love, I am here. I am here. Beloved, I am here. Here. Always. Never going to go away. Always here to stay. Always come. Come. Shelter in me. Come. No more. Let it go. Let it be. Really. If you're still kind of back and forth, you know, where we give up so much ground when we go back and forth. We don't need to do that anymore. You understand me? Right? And this is all from, you know, looking at those lessons on the battle. We forget that it is a war, that we are to wage a righteous war against the giving into our weaknesses. Yogananda is, I don't know any other master, I don't know, that can give it so straight, so unequivocally, the direct truth truth with so much love. Yeah. So then he says, instead of assuming that I had to go on waiting, because you're going to wait for the golden age to be enlightened. That's not the way that Yogananda is going to suggest we go. He said, instead of assuming that I had to go on waiting during many lives in order to meet God, I plunged headlong and swam within myself, and lo, I found him hiding within me. I found that forgetfulness and dark indifference were the veils that hid him from me. I tore asunder those veils and discovered that my memory and my love for him. Now, how are you going to have memory and love for him, the memory of love for him, unless you make sure that you start to convolute more and turn within when it's the hardest thing for you to do? If you're wringing in pain because it's so hard to be still because of your disquietude, you got to go there, man. How can you lose? You can only gain, right? I tore asunder those veils and discovered that my memory and my love for him were doors to his presence. So we need so many encounters of a fifth kind. So, we need to have so many convolutions today to the spiritual eye, penetrate the light, so to speak, create some space in the cerebral cortex, and to feel like that all of a sudden you have a whole new understanding, a whole new perception that you can see out from this beautiful place of your true center in bliss union with spirit, and see out and see as God sees, see as a soul sees. Ooh. I tore asunder those veils, discovered that my memory and my love for him were doors to his presence. As often as I thought of him, the door was flung open and I felt his presence. So think of him more and you'll see the door open more, right? Just in pain, in your rebellion, in your, I just can't do this, just that bad habit that's gotten into us over lifetimes. That's why we're still recurring here. That's why we're still here to this day, right? Now we just got to think of him more, and then he flings open the more, and there's his presence more. The memory of God is the altar of God's presence. The memory of how you rejoiced in something that was so hard, and maybe you even seemingly dropped some, but you still did not give up. You can rejoice, and it won't feel like such a failure. It won't feel like you let yourself down so much. But we want to be able to have that the memory of God is the altar of his presence, the living, loving, come to me, baby, best friend present. Whenever you think of God, you manifest his omnipresence within you. And finally, since we're here, and I can now kind of end this little section here about what we've been doing with, the cerebral cortex and all that, by just giving you the Guru's promise. This is lesson 18 again. If you sincerely follow this path of Christ, Krishna, and the masters, you won't want anything else. For self-realization fellowship will take you to your highest goal, our one beloved God. I want to remain steadily in the spirit of God, that I give you something, that I can saturate you, bathe you. But you got to want to be bathed. You got to be still to be bathed. And change you forever, forever, and forever in the infinite ocean of light that I behold. I want to remain steadily in the spirit of God, that I can give you something that I can saturate you, bathe you, and change you forever and forever in the infinite ocean of light that I behold. Jesus, Babaji, Lari Mahashai, Sri Yukteswarji, I bow to you all again and again. It is your message from God that permeates me. Whosoever shall receive this message from me with an open heart, my dears, shall not go away unfulfilled. His or her heart shall become a wonderful cup of realization that will gradually expand to receive the ocean of infinity. Man, imagine that, my dears. That your heart shall become a wonderful cup of realization. That is, you feel joy when it's time to feel joy. You'll feel peace the minute you have the thought of peace. You'll feel presence as soon as you think of God or one of the great ones, right? or of your soul. That wonderful cup of realization that will gradually expand to receive the ocean of infinity, the power of the eternal spirit. May his light surcharge you. Man, really, you know what I'm saying? It takes lifetimes to get into a presence of someone like Yogananda. Lifetimes. We've been so shirking. We've been so afraid. The ego makes you feel that way. We've cowered away. We've given in over and over again because it felt like there's no way I can do it. Well, because all you were doing is thinking about you. Right? So when the day happened where you start thinking more of the divine that's within you and the power that the divine has in you as you, then all of a sudden it turned around. But Yogananda is just giving it to you straight. And it's like I said last week, if you can take this like a soul baby, keep going. You're on a brink of something so magnificent that I'll cry tears with you for the rest of forever. I promise you. We all cry together. Okay. May his light surcharge you. Everywhere you go, live God. Practice your Kriya. Be intoxicated with that communion with the Spirit, and whosoever sees your eyes shall change. Right? We're doing a little eye gazing. God eyes to God eyes. Spirit to spirit goes. Right? Can we feel how the presence has just moved us to tears almost this morning, that it's lifted us so high and it's so beautiful? And don't give second thought to the thought that comes in that said, yeah, but this is just this, and I'm going to slink down again. No, just say, I'm so joyous that I'm just going to turn within more and more because I have a lot of convoluting to do. I have a lot of growing and evolving. Accelerating is the word, really. The evolution of my consciousness and my brain. And then he says, pray with me. And I'll sing this. He said, pray with me. May thy love shine forever on the sanctuary of my devotion. May thy love shine. Folks, I just realized I spent the whole hour. Huh? I think it's okay, don't you? I think it's way okay. We needed to wrap up a section before we go into the cosmic cycles. I'll change this to be your true center in God. How's that? The title, right? Let me sing this once more. May thy love shine forever on the sanctuary of my devotion. And may I be able to, Lord, awaken thy love in every heart. May I be able to, Lord, awaken thy love in every heart. Awaken thy love in every heart. Every heart, every heart. Awaken thy love in every heart. Every heart, every heart. Awaken thy love, awaken thy love, awaken thy love in every heart. Awaken thy love in every heart. Awaken thy love in all hearts. Awaken thy love in every heart. Awaken thy love. Awaken thy love. Awaken thy love in all hearts. Shanti, Shanti. Amen. bless you all. Thank you for being you, the divine you. And, and God already has so much mercy on all of us so that we can forgive and forget all the little human blemishes we have, all the shenanigans still going on. But now we see only one thing: the light in you, the love in you, the divine in you. So next week, the cycles. But we'll find a way to cycle the cycles so that it is the most inspiring experience of our lives thus far. How does that sound? Namaste.